Now, despite me being new to the team here at Rebel, Yaniv knew exactly who I was. You may not be able to hear it, but as soon as he saw me, he said, "That's Rebel Media" to Mama Yaniv. Drea, Humphrey here with Rebel News, and I'm here to report to you the latest of the never-ending saga that is Jonathan Yaniv. Except apparently it's no longer Jonathan Yaniv. In fact, it's no longer Jessica Yaniv. You see, the individual who takes pride in extorting immigrant women who won't shave her male genitalia to earn a living goes by the name of Jessica Simpson now. You can see the new surname here on the recent civil court document where Yaniv is now suing 3 of his previous esthetician victims again. I guess it doesn't matter to Yaniv that he lost already due to his disturbing conduct against the hardworking women and was condemned by the judge of the BC Human Rights Tribunal just last year. Nope, Yaniv is out for blood, suing his victims to pay him back the $2,000 each that the judge ruled Yaniv pay to each woman due to the conduct against him. It's hard to keep up. Yaniv, the changing names on paper, it really doesn't change the sort of individual predator Yaniv is, no matter how many times he changes his name. But that isn't what the appearance here today was about. This is going to be a long and crazy video with lots of twists and turns, but would you expect anything less when we're dealing with Jonathan Yaniv? If you'd like to see all of our coverage about Jonathan Yaniv and his reign of terror, please go to yanivtrial.com. Now, Yaniv was here today for not one, but 2 other reasons that showcase just how dangerous of an individual he is. The first appearance, scheduled today in room 100 at 9 a.m., was to be for the assault against my colleague, Kian Bexty. Kian was simply reporting and asking a very simple question from a distance, I might add, and Yaniv trotted over and pummeled Kian right in the head in front of this very own courthouse in Surrey, BC. I'm not exactly sure what is worse. Is it that or what happened to David Menzies when he was hacked over the head with a pink metal cane?
You're going to jail.
Go away.
I know. Hey,
Go
don't
away.
touch me.
Go
You're
away.
going to jail.
How is this person not already locked up? The second appearance of the day was scheduled in room 102 for 9:30 a.m. to deal with Yaniv Simpson sentencing for possessing a prohibited weapon. You know, the taser he flaunted during the interview with the popular transgender woman YouTuber named Blair White.
An attack, which is illegal in Canada. Just saying.
Today, both Yaniv and Simpson and Mama Yaniv were escorted by a handful of police officers to the front of the courthouse. You'd think that the people around them were more of a threat than them, if you didn't know any better. Now, despite me being new to the team here at Rebel, Yaniv knew exactly who I was. You may not be able to hear it, but as soon as he saw me, he said, "That's Rebel Media" to Mama Yaniv. Then he tried to sick the officers on me by summoning them over by waving his hand, but the officers didn't budge. They aren't Yaniv's private security detail. After that failed attempt, Yaniv and Mama Yaniv hid their faces away from the cameras, from both myself and the cameraman from Global News. As we were both filming, I guess social distancing also has some of its bright sides, as someone quickly shooed Yaniv back to his special red spot on the ground when he was getting too close to them. Now, I must give credit where credit's due. Now, the sheriffs today were actually doing their job correctly instead of citing made-up laws as an excuse to not let me inside. At one point during the security check, Simpson said, "Rebel Media can't be in here." And a sheriff simply said, "Yes, they can." After that, I'm sure in some sort of attempt to try and manipulate the sheriff, Jessica turned to Mama Yaniv and said, "It's okay, they won't hurt you in the courthouse." Yeah, like I'm the one who's going to hurt Mama Yaniv. Do you guys remember when Jessica sicked Mama Yaniv on my colleague Sheila Gunn-Reid? Boy, was Mama Yaniv up to the challenge, nearly taking Sheila's head off if it wasn't for the 2 bodyguards we had to hire to be there with her.
Jonathan, are you going to plead guilty to assaulting my colleague, Kian Bexty?
Rebel media. Rebel media.
Hey!
No.
Okay, keep your hands off me.
Whoa.
You go.
Are you going to plead guilty for assaulting my colleague, Kian Bexty? Jonathan! Are you going to plead guilty for assaulting my colleague, Kian Bexty? Jonathan, are you going to plead guilty to the weapons charges against you?
But you know what? When I was leaving the security part of the courthouse, Mama Yaniv actually held the door wide open for me to walk right through. I'd be lying if I didn't say that images of her lunging at Sheila didn't flash before my eyes, but I walked right through safely, so thank you, Mama Yaniv. I love my head, so kind of need that. But once inside of the courthouse, I was told due to COVID-19 restrictions, I might not be able to sit in court for room 100 at 9 a.m. to hear the assault hearing. So while I was waiting to see if I'd be able to enter, a sheriff told me that I would also be having difficulty going to watch the next appearance scheduled for courtroom 102. Since there's also COVID-19 restrictions there and only 6 people were allowed to go inside there. Now, once the sheriff, who admittedly seemed to be going over and above to try to help myself and some of the other observers there to watch the serial litigator Yaniv in his natural habitat known as the courtroom, some of them who were there with me were Amy Ham, the woman whose name Yaniv dragged through the mud by making the ridiculous and baseless claim that she sexually assaulted him in this same courthouse, and Carrie Simpson from Culture Guard, who has been advocating on behalf of Donald Smith, the disabled online reporter who spent 39 days in prison because of the lies Yaniv allegedly told police about him after Donald uploaded a video of Yaniv threatening him.
Yeah, well, basically, you need to watch what you fuck.
Kill you, and I'm not even fucking exaggerating.
Now, despite the sheriff's efforts to allow us entry due to the COVID-19 restrictions, we were denied and given the alternative to watch Room 100's appearance online instead. So while waiting for the online court link to be emailed to me, I left the courtroom entrance for room 100 and headed to courtroom 102 to see if I could at least be one of the 6 down there. And unfortunately, I didn't make the cut, and Yaniv, for some reason, was already in there. I'm not sure how that happened since that wasn't the order of events, but he and Mama Yaniv were just leaving and heading, I guess, back to courtroom 100, while Carrie Simpson, who had made it in as one of the 6, came out and filled me in on what had just happened. Yaniv's appearance for the prohibited weapon had been adjourned until September 21st, but a psych report on Jessica Yaniv had been received by the courts. So soon after I was able to watch the first appearance for Kian's assault online, as Yaniv had gone back to room 100 to attend it. Unfortunately, this was also adjourned. The only time for a new date was September 25th at 9 a.m. So it appears that we will have to wait a bit longer to see if there's any real justice going to be served to help prevent Yaniv from adding to his ever-growing victim count. Now, either way, Rebel News will be there, and you guys will be with us as we fill you in on this infamous, violent predator known now as Jessica Simpson. Drea Humphrey with Rebel News. Now, keeping up with Yaniv's predatory behavior doesn't come cheap. We've had to fly reporters out here for appearances, hire lawyers to counteract his lies, pay for bodyguards since both Yanivs are violent, and we could definitely use your support with managing David and Kian's legal proceedings against Yaniv. So if you'd like to help us out, please head to yanivtrial.com. We appreciate your support.